The honor and pleasure of serving as Executive Director of E2 Tech. You know us, I'll just highlight that middle number, 310 plus member companies. We've really been growing thanks to you, connecting people all the time, recently making some connections in the world of mass timber or cross-laminated timber, and also just connected actually a previous pitcher to a financing opportunity in a very narrow space of energy efficiency related to power factor correction, and that sounds like that might work. So that's my job. And we make our events free for students and elected officials, and in hopes that they'll come and discuss and get involved. We've been having a lot of success, and we want to have more success with increasing the diversity of our community. That's really what we are. 5,000 people with pocket protectors trying to advance Maine's clean tech economy, and partnering with IntWork has been a great way for us to do that. I know that you're hiring. Let us help you find a candidate there at IntWork. MTI has been a wonderful partner for us, and we really enjoy working with MTI to grow the sector in which we work, energy and environment. And we've been convening the Environmental Tech Board more frequently. Many members of the Environmental Tech Board are here. If you'll be working with MTI, let us help. None of what we do, including this event all year, is impossible without Bernstein Sure, Con Edison Transmission, Power Market, which is Community Solar, SMRT, Architects and Engineers, and Burns and Mac. And then I always like to hang on this slide a little bit. So these are the people, together with the sustaining leaders, who really step up and just support all our programming all year long. And that includes Veril, who's our headline sponsor today. And we do have Charlie Bacall, who's chair of Veril's IP and Tech Practice Group today. And Charlie, tell us a little bit about your work and the startup areas that you support and so forth.
Great. Thanks, Marty. Yeah, as Marty said, I'm Charlie Bacall, chair of the firm's Veril's Intellectual Property and Technology Group, which has a particular focus on and interest in the area of clean technology. We're a full service firm, and we get involved in all types of activities around clean technology, as you can tell from my title. I'm on the intellectual property side of that, which involves, among other things, getting patents for people who come up with new innovations in this area. So we are really honored to again be working with Cleantech Open and E2 Tech to welcome New England's clean technology leaders this morning. Clean energy is now more important than ever, economically, socially, and politically. Investing in it and its technology will lead to a more prosperous future, not only for those associated with the industry, but also for the planet as a whole. So we're really pleased to be able to be here and to be able to support these organizations. In a little bit, we'll hear from entrepreneurs who will share their innovative business ideas and who will play a fundamental role in propelling clean energy and clean technology even further. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from them and from all of the presenters. And although we're unable to network in a traditional manner during this type of presentation, I and my fellow Veril attorneys really welcome anyone who has any interest or legal needs to reach out to us following the program. Thanks again, Marty, and thanks to everyone for participating and for allowing us to participate.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. Thanks to the Veril team. You've been such great supporters of Cleantech Open and Cleantech Open Northeast specifically for many years running. If I've got this great new idea, Charlie, and I want to talk through how to protect it, how would I get a hold of you?
Yeah, you could reach out to me by email. I can put my email address in the chat. It's cbacall at barrel-law.com, or give us a call anytime. We've got offices, as you know, in Boston, Westport, Connecticut, and here in Portland, Maine, where I sit. So give us a call or send us an email, and I'll put my email in the chat. I'll
include that contact info, and I'm overflowing with ideas, so that's good. And thanks for all you're doing. We're also sponsored today at the gold level by Wipfli. You know, I asked the Wipfli team what to highlight today, and they said not just taxes. So this is an important point. Wipfli is a full service consultancy. This is the office that was previously Mac Page here in South Portland. Really great people doing it. I visited the office, and they're actually working on an app for a client. So that was something I wouldn't have guessed that they do at Wipfli. So please support them as well. Our annual sponsors, TRC, VHB, great environmental consulting firms, and VHB specializes in hydro as well. Let's help with them. And Maine Biz, get a free Maine Biz subscription thanks to E2 Tech, the print subscription. It's really very good. And cool stuff coming up. Space, believe it or not, this is a big economic opportunity for Maine. We're going to be discussing that soon. And then here is an event in the middle in E2 Tech's wheelhouse. It's a month from, I guess a month from yesterday, and talking about sludge and PFAS. We've got an amazing program for this. Mark your calendars if wastewater engineering is your thing. And believe it or not, we've been at this for 20 years. We're putting together a big celebration. Cindy, your presence is required. It'll be on May 18th, and you'll be getting more info about that. And this is meant to be participatory and involve everyone. I'm going to pass it off to the very capable and wonderful head of Cleantech Open Northeast now, Beth Sonis, and I'm sure she'll want to talk more about this, but I'm looking forward to a great back and forth. So Beth, how are you this morning?
I'm great. And thank you very much, Marty, for hosting us yet again at this lovely event. And very soon we'll be able to do all of these things in person again, I have no doubt. But I do want to tee up my slides here and get going and tell everybody a little bit about Cleantech Open and what we do, and hopefully get some emerging clean tech startups excited about participating this year. And for anyone who may be listening to this later, feel free to reach out to any of the speakers here and let us know if you have any questions. So in any event, Cleantech Open is a national program. I run the Northeast region, and we are very happy to be partnering with E2 Tech as well as MTI in Maine to bring out the best from Maine. So let me run through a little bit of the story here. So Cleantech Open Northeast has currently 4 people. As of the end of the day tomorrow, we will be at 3. So I am Beth Zonis. I'm the Senior Regional Director. Tally Kane is our Program Manager, who is sadly moving on to another role. She's in California. And Skelly is taking over. Skelly Holmbeck will be our Interim Program Manager. And Safia Elmi is in the meeting today, and she is our Spring Coordinator from Northeastern University. So again, I said Cleantech Open is a national program. We run the Northeast out of NECEC, which is the Northeast Clean Energy Council, which is an organization that I like to say lays the green carpet for clean tech businesses in our region. Happy to tell you a little bit more about that, but the gist of it is policy, regulatory work, and then on the other side of the house, which is where I am, it's all about innovation. So we just heard from Marty. Thank you again, Marty, at E2 Tech. And is Brian Whitney on? Because we could hear a few words from Brian, who's the president of MTI, and I will stop sharing and give Brian the floor. Is Brian on?
I see him.
All right, there he is.
Thanks, Beth. I appreciate it. I'm really pleased to be part of the program this morning. Without question, accelerator programs like the Cleantech Open play a really vital role in supporting and hastening the commercialization efforts of promising clean energy ventures. The Maine Technology Institute is Maine's unique public-private partnership that helps catalyze innovation, and we're proud to facilitate greater participation in the Cleantech Open through our strategic partnership with the Governor's Energy Office and E2 Tech. We'll be offering up to 5 scholarship awards that'll almost completely underwrite the participant fee for Maine companies selected to participate in the Cleantech Open 2022 Accelerator Program. It's an amazing opportunity. We hope you share our enthusiasm and plan to get your application in soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian. And that is a great deal. So we'll get into the costs of the program toward the end here, but thank you very much for your generosity in Maine. So just wanted to tee up this idea that if you are an emerging clean tech startup, we'd like to hear from you. Tally Kane should be in the meeting. You can text her in the chat and let her know if you have a story to tell. Basically, this is not a competition. This is really a chance for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're working on. So I want to thank our sponsors. So at Cleantech Open Northeast, we have a fabulous group of sponsors. You will see that we have several states that are sponsoring us, Massachusetts and New York, with the Mass CEC and NYSERDA, who are essentially carrying out the energy transitions in their respective states. Canada is the Canadian Consulate in New York. NJEDA is the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. So you can see there's a theme here of regions and states really being very interested in promoting clean tech innovation. We have a couple of law firms in here. So Foley Hoag is a general law firm. Sunstein is an IP specialty firm. Schneider Electric is an energy tech company. And then you'll see in the regional bronze category, we have AGC, Asahi Glass Company, Citi, you've heard of it. Chubb is insurance, Constellation is an energy company, Novartis is pharma, and Xylem is water tech. I almost forgot to mention, we have Sire Foundation, which is our regional gold sponsor, which is sponsoring us for a couple of specialty prizes this year, one in ag, food, and land use, and the other in carbon sequestration. I also want to point out on the right-hand side, we have a whole list of in-kind sponsors, and you will see E2 Tech and MTI on the list. These are organizations that are offering reimbursement as they are, as well as some specific consulting services, software, and incubator space. Those are the primary categories. So what categories do we even cover in Cleantech Open? I would say anything and everything that could have an environmental benefit. So you name it, we're willing to look at what you have and see if we can help you. So ranging from the typical things in the energy generation, distribution and storage and efficiency spaces, green building, transportation. We mentioned agriculture. We also work with folks in water and waste, chemicals and advanced materials, information and communications technologies. So many organizations will come to us and say, I'm not sure where I fit, but I kind of bridge a couple of these, or maybe you could put it in this category. Don't worry about it. We'll let you know if you qualify, and we're happy to look at whatever it is that you have. So what is it that, well, let me run through the schedule first. So we are running from, we'll run from May through September. I will tell you that the application deadline is April 17th. That's the most important date right now. We will select the cohort in May and match mentors. And then the academy, we will run from June 1st through 3rd, business clinics through September. And then our regional finals will be in Boston this year. And the global forum will be in California. Please note that everything here is virtual until the regional finals, which will be in Boston. I will also mention that from May through September 27th is private for the cohort. We do invite folks who are involved in the program to participate, but those This is meant to be a safe space for startups to work on their ventures. So what is it that we ask our startups to do? We have a very rigorous program. It's like a mini MBA, and the deliverables are come pretty much every week. You start working on customer discovery, you fill out the business model canvas, we help you with impact statements specifically related to sustainability. And over the last year or so, we started a new program called GHG-ERP, which stands for Greenhouse Gas Emissions Reduction Potential, which is essentially how are you calculating your environmental benefit. We get into customer segmentation, go-to-market strategy. How do you work with attorneys? How do you work with insurance companies? How do you project your finances a few years out? How do you really think about what is your business? What are the milestones that you need to work toward? And by the end of the program, you have all of these materials that you can use to really help to kickstart your business to the next level and get toward commercialization, as Brian said. So over the last few years, we've been doing this since 2005. And in 2020, we did an analysis of our alumni, and we found that out of the 414 alumni from the Northeast, we noticed that 68% were still in business. That's a significant number when you realize that overall 25% of businesses make it and 75% don't. So we're the inverse of that. At the time, we also were able to calculate that our startups were earning $279 million per year, and they had raised $653 million to date. The numbers, I believe, are significantly higher even than the last year. And because data like this is hard to get, I believe that those numbers are actually low on the dollar amounts. 3,300 employees at the time, and diversity improving. We are now hovering at around 62% of our startups that have a female or minority founder. So we are pretty pleased with that, but we do need to continue to improve the diversity across multiple domains. So in terms of greenhouse gas emissions reduction potential, we added them all up from last year. We had 44 startups that participated last year in our program. And out of that, they said together that they would, they're projecting 101 million metric tons of CO2 equivalent per year when they're at scale is what they will be, their emissions reduction potential is. That's a lot. That is equivalent to 22 million cars taken off the road per year. And you can see that the big categories where the highest numbers were in transportation, chemicals, green building, et cetera. So really interesting to see where all of this is going to lead. And obviously, if all of our startups get to market quickly and we're able to support as many as possible, then hopefully our environment will be better for it. So I did mention the cash prizes. I mentioned diversity, equity, and inclusion. We work with folks on how to build your team, and we are very focused on how to build your team with diversity, equity, and inclusion in mind. We've been working with an organization called Browning the Green Space, and they are helping us with this effort. We hope to continue to work with them this year. It's been really good partnership. We have $60,000 in cash prizes this year, which includes, in addition to that, we have $300,000 in goods and services that we're giving away. 6 prizes will include 4 general prizes plus 2 specialty prizes, 1 in ag, food, and land use, and the other in carbon sequestration, as I mentioned. So lots of opportunities to to get recognized and get some cash. The cost is $75 per team to apply and $13.50 to participate. I will mention again, reiterate that Maine folks will get most of their participation fees covered. Thank you very much to the state of Maine and E2 Tech and MTI for that. Please note, Cleantech Open does not take equity in your startup. So consider this like a course fee. It is heavily subsidized. The real cost to us is closer to $6,000 per team. And we believe the value is multiples of that. So
Beth, I know that it looked like, sorry to interrupt, that Evan had a question about the Ag Prize.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Evan, go ahead.
Hey there, sorry, just coming off video. I heard you mention something about the Sire Foundation. I just wanted you to reiterate what you had said. There was something affiliated with that.
Yes, so while I'm here, I'm gonna actually put this in the chat. We have a, I'm gonna just direct you to this. If you take a look, actually maybe Sophia or one of my team members can put it in the chat. We have a whole media kit with all the prize details, and we can make sure that you get access to that. Because I want to make sure I get through this presentation, and I will be happy to tell you more about the prize afterwards. But let me run through this because there are some more messages here. But what we look for in your application is market, solution, and team. Is there a significant market? Does it look like your solution could satisfy the market need? Could this actually work? And does your team look like you could work with us and also fulfill the promise that you're making? So, and then actually, let me take a quick step back before I introduce my other folks, and I will just tell you about the prize. We did some research to determine what the categories would be of interest to the world, and we found that so last year we had a carbon sequestration prize, and also, and that was through the Sire Foundation, and they liked us so much that they decided to come up with a second prize, and we said, oh, okay, great, let's do, so we then we looked at the numbers from the, what do you call it? Project Drawdown. And it turns out that 24% of the world's emissions goes to ag, food, and land use. So when we showed them our research on that, they said, okay, we're in, we're gonna do an ag, food, and land use prize. And so that's how that started. So let me just introduce my next speakers, and then I'll get off the stage here. I'm going to introduce them all at once. So Bernard Idier is a CTO, Cleantech Open alum from 2021. His company is Finsolate, and he is based in Portland. Tim Guiderman is a Cleantech Open alum. His company is Infosense, and he was a national finalist and a Northeast finalist last year with, and he'll tell you a little bit about what he does. And Lance Ahern is also a 2021 Cleantech Open alum with his company Alanetics, and he's also in Maine. Tim, I believe, is in Vermont, so we let him across the border to tell his story here. But anyway, I will turn it over to Bernard first. You have a couple minutes, Bernard. Thanks.
Hi everyone. My name is Bernard Idier. Indeed, I'm Finsolate here in Portland, and we got selected last year for Cleantech Open. We actually have a process that limits, increase energy efficiency on boats by combating fouling. And our system is actually non-polluting, which is a big plus, because by imitating the sea urchin defense to fouling in the sea, we avoid all the plastic pollution and biocides pollution that comes from anti-fouling paints. So being selected by, thanks to Marty and Beth and the help of MTI, thank you for the financing. Last year was really a good step for us because we had just appeared on the map here. And it's indeed an MBA program. You're gonna have to deliver every week. It's not always easy. I was by myself last year. It's a bit different this year, thanks to 1 year of work. We're getting a bit better structure this year, and we are able to start really equipping boats. And we've decided after this, we'd say 6 months of CTO program, but I would say it's not 6 months. It goes over that. Today, I'm still in contact with my mentors, and I can still rely on Beth sending me emails saying, "Did you see that?" So you're going to be CTO members for life, and can rely on the support of the mentors and everything. Today, thanks to all this process, we've decided to go to aquaculture and sustainable fishery as a priority, because we think that the blue economy and the interest for sustainable production of proteins goes together with protecting the environment where these proteins are grown. And this is where we're going. And definitely this program over 6 months helped us prioritize where we wanted to go first. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. And I'll turn it over to Tim. Is Tim on?
Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Sure can.
All right. Hi, Beth. Hi, everyone. Yeah, and I am broadcasting from northern Vermont here near Burlington. So if anyone's ever in the area, happy to connect. But yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of InfoSense. As Beth mentioned, we were a finalist in the Northeast, and then we were a national finalist. So only 6, I think, of 120 some odd companies made it that far. And it was an exciting adventure and journey, and learned a lot, and happy to fill in more where I can help other folks. But very quickly about us. So InfoSense, our mission is to dramatically accelerate our society's ability to meet its climate goals. We believe really that one of the biggest gaps in achieving this is accountability and visibility into the systems and the processes that have the biggest impact on our emissions. So our focus is on commercial and industrial buildings, as well as the supply chain. So specifically a lot of the waste and inefficiencies around the cold chain in food, ag, and pharma. And we deliver on that mission through the development of an innovative analytics platform that leverages the state-of-the-art in long-range, low-power wireless sensing. And we simplify the development and deployment of the sensor-enabled, data-driven solutions. And we're all about providing sort of near perfect information, granular visibility and exceptional insight into these buildings, these systems, and these processes that are negatively contributing to the health of our ecosystems and environment. So that's me. Happy to kind of take this wherever this goes, and happy to be here.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tim. And it's great to see you online. Hope to see you in person soon.
Yep.
Also, now let me turn it over to Lance. Lance, take it away.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Lance Ahern, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Valnetics. We are focused in a world that's transforming to renewable energy on balancing supply and demand. Our business leverages an open communication standard. If you think of the USB port that you plug into a computer, no such thing exists for appliances, water heaters, refrigerators, even EV chargers. That's our focus. About a decade ago, our co-founder essentially architected a new protocol. That protocol has developed over time. It is now essentially engineered into every single water heater by every single OEM, into every single SKU. Other OEMs, both car chargers and pool pump suppliers, have also engineered it, but only at a prototypal stage. It's clearly no longer a technology problem, but in spite of the advances that have been made, and these are very significant developments to get every manufacturer to get this far, they still don't have orders at scale. So our business model innovation is one that focuses on that communication capability, but with a new innovative business model that involves project finance. We did not make it past the we did not make it into the finals, did not make it past the semifinals last year, but I want to just say how helpful it was to participate in CTO. There is a mountain of work. It is rigorous, and that's an understatement, So depending upon where you are in the development of your effort, there's nothing linear about a startup. It can be a real challenge. Having said that, the quality of the presenters are extraordinary. We were skeptical in the beginning. Oops, sorry, I'm already over my time. We were skeptical in the beginning, but those folks kept us in because it just kept getting better. The mentors, they say, trust us on the mentors. Likewise, I was skeptical. We were excellently matched. We had a tremendous diversity of skill sets. These folks were actively involved. They were constructive, and they went above and beyond the call, even long after the program. We continued to be in touch on regular discussions, and they continue to help us. We had never worked together. My partner and I actually have never met because this all happened during COVID. The hard work gave us a chance to actually work together. And it was hard work. So it was a good way for us to understand what it would be like to work together going forward. So that was a sort of an unexpected benefit. We got so much good, useful material that we go back to over and over again when we're talking to potential partners. The biggest single...
Thank you so much, Lance.
Sure enough.
Thank you very much, Lance. And to be continued, no doubt, if there's time at the end, we'll hear your other remarks. I want to get back to the presentation, and there was a slide that I missed earlier, and I want to make sure that I cover this because Lance started to get into this, and I think I skipped over it earlier, which is what is the Cleantech Open? I like to tell people it's like a mini MBA, and it includes lots of training, which is in the form of business clinics, events, lots of speakers, as Lance said, and also a lot of mentorship. So we're able to provide as many as 4 mentors per team. So if you come to us with a 2-person team, you suddenly have grown 3 times. It is a lot of mentoring on purpose. They are meant to be your advisory board as you build your company. And we provide access to capital toward the end, which is in the form of introductions to investors. And then there's opportunities for showcasing and competing for cash prizes. So I just wanted to make sure that you all got to see that slide because that is kind of important. What I will go back to is, we'll run through here. So we have 2 of our wonderful mentors who are here today to tell you a little bit about their experiences as mentors. Jeff has been a mentor for several years. Carla was new last year and stepped up and has also been helping us on a special project in Canada. So I want to turn it over to Carlos Doremus-Tranfield first, and then to Jeff Lambden second. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Carla, it's all yours.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks for this opportunity to share my perspective. As background, I come from the chemical industry. I was in marketing, management, and business development for large corporations, and I also owned a chemical manufacturing company that serviced the oil and gas industry, which furthers my passion for renewable energy because oil and gas is so horrible. Now I'm a business consultant in Maine. I served as a CTO mentor last year, as Beth said, for the first time, and I participated in CTO's Women in Clean Tech collaboration with the Canadian government earlier this year. I think being a CTO mentor is hugely rewarding on many levels. The curriculum, as other people have spoken to, is broad and deep, gives entrepreneurs access to critical skills they need to commercialize their technology, and allows mentors to stay abreast of evolving best practices in business development. CTO also provides access to a large network of experts that I can refer to provide expertise to my mentees, and as well as sharing ideas that will benefit my personal clients and the sustainability ecosystem in general. Personally, I get to stay current with technology evolution and work with innovators who will contribute to the sustainability of the planet. And a bonus benefit is that the mentors form relationships with mentees that continue outside of the program, as other people have said. And we really do feel a sense of pride when we watch our mentees and their technologies achieve their market objectives. So as a mentor, I highly recommend the program to anyone who wants to enter, but also to mentors who are interested in sharing their professional experience and helping to move clean tech forward. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Carla. And I will also point out that I was a mentor for 9 years before I became the director. And so I really enjoyed mentoring, and it really tied me to this organization and to the community overall. So I definitely appreciate your comments. I will turn it over to Jeff Landon. You're on.
Well, thank you very much. I totally identify in sort of a ditto to what Carla said. Being a mentor is arguably even more rewarding than going through the program yourself. I should know I've taken 2 companies through the Cleantech Open, and I've been honored by being asked to come back as a mentor and occasionally as a mock or regional judge. So I see things from a range of perspectives. My own companies are more in the energy space with some of you are familiar with Sea Change Group, where we just finished a phase 1 LCA with another Cleantech Open company, Earthshift Global. So meeting people is part of what you get out of this. The alumni network is phenomenal. And as a graduate, if you will, of the Cleantech Open, you've got access to these resources effectively for the rest of your life with that company. Very, very valuable. And working with other mentors. My role the last few years has been head mentor, which doesn't mean I know any more than anybody else. Arguably the other way around just means I'm the official cat herder, which can be interesting. Example this year of the diversity and range of companies. A company that I mentored, the participants, including the mentors, were across, I think, 6 or 5 time zones. So it made it interesting finding times to meet. But we all get a lot out of it. I learned a huge amount myself, and become friends with a lot of the members of the companies that we participate with. I certainly encourage mentors as geography and time allows to meet face to face now that we're emerging from the other side of the last few years, or at least get to the regional, and if you can, attend the global conference. There's a huge amount of takeaways from that, whether you're a company or a mentor. So mentors are here really to guide. They're here because in theory we know the questions you need to ask. A lot of times we don't ask those questions. We encourage you to ask them. We're less here to answer those questions, to again guide you to finding those answers, and to be safe sounding boards for your questions, your concerns. This is, as Beth made very clear, and it's very important, this is a safe environment. You can throw things on the table. You don't have to take ownership of it back. But it's a place to try things out, try things on. And we're, as mentors, as a group, we're here to challenge you. We're not going to challenge your technology necessarily, because that's really not why we're here. But it's more about business development, management, next steps, where you're going, making sure you have a path. Certainly here, as any of us are to
thank you so
answer
much,
questions. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff. And I'm going to take a moment here and turn the mic over to Dan Burgess with the Maine Governor's Office. Dan, are you available to say a few words?
Yeah, good morning. Great to be with everyone. I've just been sitting here listening, and I won't take too much time. Just want to really recognize the opportunity that the Cleantech Open offers, and appreciate all of the mentors, all of the interested entrepreneurs, the support from E2 Tech and MTI on the scholarship front. I think just really see, as Maine has really ambitious clean energy and climate targets of 80% renewables by 2030, as well as greenhouse gas reduction targets. These are going to take new ideas, new inventions, new companies, and just the track record of the Cleantech Open is really strong, and I'm really pleased to see the interest in Maine as we look to get new technologies and companies being a part of this clean energy economy. So just generally excited, and I will keep it short so we can get to some of the other points of the agenda. But thanks for everyone's interest, and look forward to seeing another successful year for the Cleantech Open in Maine.
Dan, why the tie? You're making me feel underdressed.
The legislature is in session So I had to remember how to tie a tie, but here I am. So
thanks for all you do. Awesome.
Thank you very much, Dan. And I just want to reiterate that this is a community. It takes a lot of support to bring up a startup. So our whole purpose here was to let everybody know that you have some support in Maine. That was our goal today, and I think that that we are doing well to get that message across. We now have a few people who are interested in pitching, and then I have a few more slides to run through after that. So, and then we should have a couple of minutes for Q&A at the end. I would love to turn it over to Tally if you have a list of people who'd like to pitch.
I do.
Thank you, Dan.
So our first person who wants to pitch is Tristan Rowe, representing Phase 0.
Hey there. I am Dr. Tristan Rowe. I'm a naturopathic doctor here in Maine, presenting my idea on Phase 0. So Phase 0 is a Web 3.0 startup. Web 2.0 is approaching mainstream adoption right now, very slowly, but exponentially. And the global market for blockchain is expected to grow around like 227 billion over the next 6 years alone in financials, despite only 10% of the population having anything to do with cryptocurrency. And one of the largest concerns and barriers around this tech is the environmental impact. And we also recognize that the industry is highly catered to kind of a narrow demographic range. So we're planning on offering kind of like a bottom to top approach to certification to blockchain, labs, companies, DAOs, NFTs, and different projects. They'll be certified for their ability to meet standard metrics in the field of the environment, social governance, project legitimacy, and kind of we have a multi-revenue approach in alignment with ESG principles within blockchain, further supported by the ability to leverage smart contracts. We chose to name.
Thank you so much, Tristan.
Tristan, that's really interesting. Thank you very much for sharing what you're working on. We look forward to hearing more. And I will turn it over to Tally for whoever's next.
Bhaskar Mukundapillai, founder of 108 DLT Inc.
That's actually Bhaskar Mukhopadhyay, founder of 108 DLT Inc. I'll talk about the electrical grids. They're always making the headlines regarding the many challenges they are facing, such as integration of growing number of renewables, storage sources, microgrids, and along with cyber attacks, electricity transmission losses, and grid modernization. At the same time, plan to meet a trifecta of future trends. We've heard this many times: decarbonization, decentralization, and digitalization. Along with it, is shift to empower consumers, prosumers, and make it a customer-centric grid. That is really a tall order, but a challenge that can be progressively solved through blockchain-based design and solutions. Consider triple entry and reconciliation-free accounting. Consider bidirectional flow of energy and information with cybersecurity. Consider local and grid-level energy trading with differential pricing. A slew of capabilities to take the friction out and bring programmatic trust into the grid. Hi, I am Bhaskar Mukhopadhyay, founder of 108
Thank you
DLT,
so much, Bhaskar.
a consulting company bringing blockchain-based design and solutions to the energy sector. Thank you.
Great, that is really interesting, Bhaskar, and look forward to hearing more about what you are working on. Tally, who's next?
Yes, so the next person is Nick Planson, and they have two pitches, one for Boatyard LLC, and then the second for Shred Electric. So Nick, you'll have a minute for each.
Great, thanks, Tally. My name is Nick Planson. My background is in Cleantech, demand response and energy efficiency in New York City, as well as renewables across the country and international IT. The first one I'm talking about is the Boatyard LLC, which has been operating for a couple of years out of Yarmouth. We'll probably be expanding up the coast soon. We're focused on supporting regenerative aquaculture as well as sustainable boat services. For example, we're working with Bernard with Finsulet to try to find a better bottom paint solution and test that here in Maine. I'm eagerly hunting for compostable boat shrink wrap because I think that could be a great solution, not just in Maine, but globally. So I've already started working with some folks who might be able to provide that, and building some kelp pre-processing infrastructure to help those businesses work more efficiently. Next is Shred Electric. So as many of you know, I'm sure, 2-stroke and 4-stroke motors pollute a ton. They're not regulated, and they're quite a pain to maintain and operate. Electric snowmobiles and jet skis and moon bikes are now available, but consumers are quite wary of making the plunge. We'd like to set up a business to rent and promote these in Maine and then beyond, and then have service and charging infrastructure for these machines in key locations. We think we can get current enthusiasts to make the switch to electric and attract a whole new market of environmentally conscious folks to these activities. Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you, Nick. And it's good that there are some synergies between you and one of our startups. That's great. By the way, I will say you got to pick one. If you want to participate in Cleantech Open, it is not realistic to do 2 startups at the same time in our program. So I would suggest picking one when you decide to apply. Is there anyone else who would like to tell their story? Pitch?
Yes, we have one more.
Okay, great.
Eric Fitz by Amply Energy, or with Amply Energy.
Hello, I am the CEO and co-founder of Amply Energy. We are focused on the residential sector, trying to do deep energy retrofits. We think the existing home energy retrofit system is broken. The 2 major barriers are cost and complexity to homeowners, and also just the overall system that supports it. We partner with capital providers, local installers, and the homeowner to implement these projects. We use our proprietary software to do virtual energy audits, to provide a unique roadmap for every homeowner, oversee the projects, and then also are building flexible demand with these distributed energy resources. So we install controls and monitoring for all of the equipment that we install to enable virtual power plants and other nascent or existing opportunities to bid into the wholesale power markets.
Excellent. So thank you very much for telling us about that, Eric. Happy to chat with you and learn more about that later too. So is there anyone else who would like to pitch? I know someone earlier asked about the Ag Prize, Ag Food and Land Use Prize. Would you be interested in pitching? Anyone else?
Thanks for asking. I'll hold for now.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right, and I will just resume my slides. I have 2 more slides that I just wanted to share with all of you and let you know what you need to know in order to apply to the 2022 Cleantech Open. We have a very comprehensive media kit, and I would strongly recommend that everybody go and take a look. bit.ly bit.ly/CTOMK 2022. Lots of information about our prizes and our upcoming events. If you want to join us at one of our other events, we have several others coming up. So you can continue the conversation with us there, and feel free to ask us any questions about any of that. And to apply, cleantechopen.org is the easiest URL to remember, and the deadline is April 17th. For anyone who is planning to apply, I would recommend getting started now. It will take you a little bit of time to think through how you want to tell us about what you're working on, and make sure that you have your message clear and your team is on board with the plan. So I believe that is it. Thank you very much for everybody for listening, and I will turn it over to just open it up and we can have a conversation, because we have a few minutes left. If anybody wants to raise any questions or bring up anything that we didn't get to mention here. It's wide open. We can actually stop the recording if you would feel more comfortable asking a question without being recorded. So thank you again, everybody.